For today's lesson, we need to go into our Photoshop folder this week and save an image called Desert Landscape into our downloads. We have worked with this one before, but your computer may have been wiped since then, so make sure Desert Landscape is in your downloads. You will also need a photo that you have taken to do the second photo edit. It doesn't matter what or who or where this is, as long as that it is a photo that you have taken. I've seen this technique of putting images into text since the early 1900s with kind of old-timey postcards. I've seen it in travel advertising as well as collages made from portraits. Let's start working with the desert landscape photo first from your downloads. First, we're going to go to Layer, New, Layer via Copy. The shortcut is Control-J. Over here you see Layer 1 and Background. Make sure you're clicked on Layer 1, which should be gray. Then do the circle that is half black, half white. Go to the top to Solid Color. At this point, it does not matter what color you choose. We'll probably end up changing it later. Just pick one on the rainbow for right now. Click OK. Then drag this layer, the color layer, in between Layer 1 and Background. Layer 1, Color Fill Layer, and Background should be the order. Then click back on Layer 1. Make sure it's gray and highlighted. Then you're going to click on the Text tool, the capital T. Before we draw any text box, let's look at the font we have chosen so far. It doesn't matter which font you choose. You want a really thick font. You don't want something so thin you won't be able to see the text or the image inside of it. Bungee's great, copper black, any of those things that is kind of a wide font. Size right now, let's start at 150. We'll probably change that. And then color at this point doesn't matter either. So once you've chosen your font and about 150, click and drag a box almost the size of the picture, and then type the word sand. Now, when you type it, you may have to move it more towards the middle. It just kind of depends on the font and the size that you've chosen. And we want to try and make our text be as big as possible on the screen. And yours may look a little bit different than mine depending on the font you chose. So 150 was okay. 300 is way too big, and there's no more choices in between. What's great about this is you can highlight the number up here and type in any number and then enter or return on the keyboard, and it will fit a lot better. So keep working until your text is as big as possible on top of the photo. Again, yours may look a little bit different than mine. Then you need to drag the layer on the right hand side that says sand, drag it underneath Layer 1. So our sandwich now is Layer 1, your text layer, which is sand, color fill, and background. Click on Layer 1, then right click, choose Create Clipping Mask, and then we're going to be able to move our text. Make sure your moving tool, it looks like a plus at the top left, is chosen. And when we click and drag, we can move our image behind the text anywhere you want to. I said we would probably change this color because purple doesn't really go with this image, so double click whatever color you chose here. Maybe choose a different one on the rainbow, and then how saturated you want that picture. Again, it can be any color you want to. When you're finished, it says sand. You can see the image inside the text. You're going to File, Save a Copy. Make sure this says JPEG, and we're going to save this one as Desert Landscape Done in our downloads, save, and OK. Now let's move on to your own picture. It could be of anything, anyone, anywhere, as long as you've taken it. It could be for class or personal. Before you move on to working on your own picture, I want you to at least watch some options here on the one that I do, because they may be some tricks that you may need to know in order to finish your own picture. First, I'm going to repeat what I did earlier. I'm going to go to Layer, New, Layer via Copy. I'm going to put in a solid color fill layer. Again, this will change once I see my image inside the text. Drag that underneath Layer 1, click back on Layer 1, choose the text tool, and type in my word. Now, when you first type in a word, you may see some like temporary text. It's Latin. It says lorem ipsum on there. That's fine. Just type over it. put whatever text you want there instead. Now, it can be on the one that you work on, it can be a quote, it can be one single word, it could be a phrase, really anything that's school appropriate is fine. And as you can see, there's lots going on in this picture, and the word probably isn't going to be big enough to show as much as I want to. What I can do here is I can type the word over and over again. And if I have any trouble along the way, I go to Window, Character. And over here, I have lots and lots of options. First, I want to highlight my text. My problem is the word is overlapping itself. I can change that over here by choosing more space between each line. I can change the text size, I can change the font, I can change the color if I want to. There's lots that you can do here in this space. Also, I needed to make that text box bigger. And one thing that you may want to do if you have like a single word is right here that has the capital T and an arrow up and down next to it. To make your word taller or words taller, this is what you change. Now, I think the default here is 100%, and that's why, you know, it looks so short right here. It's because that's the actual size of the text. I can change this up to 200%. I can change this up to 300%. Or here's a trick: highlight this percentage. And then when you hover your mouse over that capital T, see how your mouse changes? It looks like a left and right arrows next to a hand. If you click and drag to the right, you can get kind of a preview of how the text looks. So when you go to edit the photo of your whatever it is you're adding the text to, it can be one word, it can be multiple words, it can be the same word over and over again. You can make some adjustments over here about spacing between each line, which is this A and A. You can also make some changes here about how tall the letter is. So play with all the numbers over here until you think your image is going to look good inside that text. And when you're happy, drag that layer up underneath layer 1. So it goes layer 1, your text layer, color fill, and background. Back on layer 1, remember to right click, create clipping mask, use your moving tool to move the image wherever you want to. And like I said earlier, you're not going to like that color probably in the end once you see everything kind of put together. So feel free to go through and change that color. Also feel free, like on mine, I feel like there's too much negative space here that's no longer necessary. I'm going to click and drag a box using my rectangular marquee tool. It's the square, looks like a bunch of dotted lines. I'm going to draw a box around what I want to keep. I'm going to image crop. You have a lot of leeway in this photo that you edit. Okay, just try to make some sort of text with your image inside of it, and doesn't matter the color or the font as long as it can be read. File, save a copy. Here's where you need to make sure it is saved as a JPEG in your downloads. Save it there and make sure you turn in both on Schoology today, one under the one with desert landscape with sand in it, and the one with a text of your choice and image of your choice.